The mirror in the washroom had a crack running through it, splitting my face in two, one half composed, the other something feral, barely restrained. I gripped the porcelain sink until my knuckles blanched, listening to the muffled laughter outside, champagne glasses clinking, music swelling, my sister's joy echoing down the marble hallway like a verdict. "Why can't you be as beautiful as she is?" His voice replayed with surgical clarity. My parents' laughter followed, not surprise, not discomfort, familiar amusement. At least she makes good money, otherwise she would be useless to everyone. Useless. I let the words settle into my chest like a blade finding its home. My phone vibrated against the counter, once, then again. A message preview lit the screen. Unknown contact. "He didn't tell you, did he?" I stared at the words, my pulse steady in a way that scared me. Another message appeared. "A year is a long time to lie to someone you sleep next to." The crack in the mirror seemed to widen. I smiled at my reflection, small, controlled. I had learned long ago that visible reactions were a currency best spent sparingly. I typed back nothing. Outside, the applause swelled. The bride and groom were being announced. I straightened my dress, smoothed my hair, and walked back toward the noise. I took my seat beside my husband as if nothing had happened. He didn't look at me. He was too busy watching my sister, radiant, adored, validated in ways I had never been allowed to be. His hand rested on my thigh, possessive, a performance. I felt nothing. The phone vibrated again in my clutch. Unknown contact. Check his work trips, check the condo. My eyes flicked to him. He smiled at someone across the table, the charming expression he used when he needed to be liked, needed to be believed. I thought back over the past year, the sudden late nights, the projects that required weekends away, the way he stopped asking about my day but still expected applause when he entered a room. And the money, the way my income quietly became ours while his became private. I remembered signing documents without reading them too closely, trust disguised as efficiency, marriage as a merger where I never saw the balance sheets. My parents leaned in toward him, laughing, treating him like the son they had always wanted. I watched the way he soaked it in. The phone buzzed again. Unknown contact. "He told me you knew, that you didn't mind." I swallowed. I didn't cry, I didn't confront him, I didn't ask who she was. I raised my glass when everyone else did, and inside, something essential clicked into place. I became quiet after that night, quieter than usual. No accusations, no tears, just observation. I memorized his routines, tracked patterns, listened more than I spoke. When he slept, I unlocked his phone using the code he never bothered to change, the date of my sister's birthday, a detail that felt intentional now, cruel in its laziness. Emails, calendar invites, expense reports. The condo wasn't hidden well, neither were the transfers, small amounts, consistent, labeled as investments. I requested copies of our financial statements under the guise of tax preparation, smiled at the accountant, took notes. At work, I asked questions, not about him, about policy, about documentation, about what happened when funds were misrepresented between spouses. I ran a quiet background check on the LLC tied to the condo. Her name surfaced, not unknown anymore. She was younger, of course she was. An employee, of course she was. Someone who had mistaken access for affection and obedience for love. I watched him lie with the same calm he gave compliments, and I practiced my own calm in response. At night, when he wrapped an arm around me, I lay still, cataloging every breath, waiting. The report arrived on a Tuesday, clean, clinical, unemotional. Financial misuse, infidelity confirmed, a timeline that stretched back 13 months. I printed 2 copies. That evening, I cooked his favorite meal, poured wine, set the table. He noticed, smiled, relaxed. I slid the folder across to him between courses. "What's this?" he asked, still chewing. "Something you forgot to delete," I said. He opened it, read, froze. The color drained from his face in slow motion. "I can explain." "I know," I said. "That's the problem." Silence pressed in around us. He looked smaller without his audience. "I never meant to hurt you." I tilted my head, studied him like a specimen. "You humiliated me publicly," I said. "This is private." His mouth opened, closed. For the first time, he had nothing rehearsed. The wedding video was scheduled to be shared with the family the following weekend. I sent it first, along with the financial documents, the emails, the timestamps. No commentary, no explanation. Just truth, neatly packaged. My parents called within minutes, voices sharp with panic instead of laughter. My sister sent a message that said nothing but, "I didn't know." I didn't reply. He begged, apologized, promised therapy, promised change. I handed him the second folder, divorce papers already filed, assets protected, accounts separated. "You said I was useful," I told him. "You were right." He collapsed into the chair, hands shaking. I stood, walked out. I didn't attend any more family gatherings. I didn't explain myself. I moved apartments, changed routines, kept my name. Sometimes I think about the washroom mirror, the crack down the middle, how I mistook it for damage instead of division. Some breaks are necessary. Some humiliations are invitations. They showed me exactly who they were. I believed them, and I left with everything that mattered, including myself.